My name's Krishna Nadella, and I was a Mullin client from 2008 to 2008. I was here for about 6 months. I had, at the time, been let go from a large investment bank here in the New York area, and I was 27. I was an international employee, and I had a mortgage. And the reason I bring those three up is that, well, one, when you're 27, you don't think about being unemployed that early in your career after graduate school. Two, as an international employee, I lost my visa. And three, having a mortgage meant I still had to make payments. So it was a very stressful time in my life. It was definitely one of those step up and survive situations or back down and drown. And I knew I couldn't do the latter of the two. Thankfully, and I think this is the key to probably helping me get through that turbulent time, was Mullin Associates. I think it's important for people to understand that when you have a job, when you have a profession, that's a very important aspect of your workday. It takes up a substantial amount of time. And when it's gone like that, it's very awkward initially to understand what to do with that void. For many people, they take some time off, and that's great. But for others who aren't as so well established in their careers, like myself at that time, I knew I had to get back on the horse immediately. Mullin was able to provide me with a place to sit down, have a phone, have an internet connection, and really just focus on getting back on my feet. I think what I always framed it was as my job was to get a job, and that's where my resources were put towards. Getting out of the house, still going to the gym, still getting dressed, and coming to a place really helped give that sense of reality and allowed me to feel like, look, I can still keep some sense of structure to my day. On top of that, with their counselors, mine was Elaine Weinstein, it really helped give the support, and it is an emotional aspect, an emotional part of someone's life, to know that, look, this is just temporary, it's not forever. Every day that passes is one day closer to getting back on your feet. And to have that perspective and to have that motivation, I think was ultimately what helped me get to the point where I was able to leave and make some great connections along the way. Side note, Elaine was at my wedding, so Mullin's not just about a business arrangement to help get out of unemployment. It can be something a lot more worthwhile than that. So when I actually first got let go from my firm, I was given a package from my HR department, and it had Mullin Associates listed as the outplacement firm I should reach out to. I'd given a call to Keith himself, and he had told me, hey, come on in, get you set up, let's get started. And I think that was really the impetus of what defines this organization. They are not here to waste your time, they're here to help you out, and they understand time is of the essence. So I did get a chance to come in, and I was placed with Elaine Weinstein, who was my counselor. And Elaine and I hit it off tremendously. She herself, with her own capital markets background, was able to understand some of the needs that someone like myself would be going through over the next several months. What was also important, aside from those individual one-on-one counseling sessions, was the workshops and seminars that Mullin offered. They were really validating because you were able to get some incredible intelligence in terms of how to tackle the job market, but also you were able to be surrounded by people to let you know, hey, it's okay, you're not alone in this. You have friends who you can develop relationships with. And for myself and several other colleagues, we actually developed really good relationships, which I keep to this day. I'm sure if you were to ask Keith in more detail, there was about 5 of us at that time who would always see each other every day. We'd come in around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and we'd make sure we did our job search, but we'd also be there as a support system for each other. And I think that's important to remember, is that this is a place that is also an opportunity. So take advantage of it. It's not just here to get out of this difficult time, it's also here to embrace and make the most of it while you're here, because I guarantee you, you won't be here forever. I can only tell you the number of times I wanted to stay in my bed, not wake up, not open the blinds, and just ignore the world. It was too easy, actually. In fact, that was the option that was one I didn't have to think about. But I also knew it would have gotten me nowhere. I also know that nothing would have changed in regards to my status if I didn't get up every day. So I forced myself to get up, still went to the gym every morning, and I said, look, this is your job, so treat it as such. Come to Mullin, sit down, get set up. It gives you a sense of purpose. It gave me a sense of direction. And I think that's really important to have consistently throughout. Every day you continue to do so is every day feeling like you're working towards something. Ultimately, it's the same concept whether you're running a marathon or you are trying to accomplish, the next great American novel. It's goal setting. That's what this is all about. And goal setting requires you to come in consistently and do the same thing over and over again and refine your skills, refine your technique, and ultimately hit that mark that you're trying to reach for. And that's why we're all here. It's important to remember this is still business at the end of the day. It's not personal, so it shouldn't be, as much as you can, not take it personally. Unfortunate events happen all the time in corporate America. The key is to show your wherewithal. The key is to show that you are willing to come about this with the right perspective. And just like a boxer when he gets knocked down, are you willing to get back up again? The real shame is saying, I give up, I don't want to move on, I can't deal with this. But if you're willing to say, look, it happens to the best of us, that's more strength than anyone can ever ask, because you're showing in a time of weakness that you still have strength to fight. One of the best lines I was ever given by one of my mentors was after I just got my first job, and he said, Krishna, I know this is a happy time, but I need to tell you something. Invariably, through no fault of your own, once, twice, maybe even 3 times, you'll get let go from a firm. Don't take it personally, just get back on that horse and start riding towards the next one. Good advice, no matter what age we are.